Alright, let's talk about L-shaped ambushes. The most common of the ambushes from the that you'll see at protests, street takeovers, and riots, you name it. So called because if you draw an L, you're gonna have the X right here, which is going to be your vehicle. You're driving this way, you have to get off the X, and you're going to have ambush point 1, ambush point 2, being attacked from 2 directions simultaneously. So your goal to get off the X as fast as possible and get out of here. The L can come from any direction. Can be L, can be L, right? L. It can be, oh man, be L. So on and so forth. Not a perfect L, but you get the idea. It's going to be coming. Usually, that would be like if a person was here, transition to here. And what you're trying to do, if you have a vehicle with 4 passengers, 1 driver, passenger, 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 you're trying to save all 4 people from this ambush. This could be street takeover, it could be protesters just trying to walk through, and what they'll do is they will block traffic. Vehicle here, sometimes vehicle here too. They're trying to get their march as fast as possible, and what they will do is they will block the intersection. A lot of people go, well, you just drive through it, haha, lol. No, you 100% are not, because sometimes there could be multiple blocks of these. There could be checkpoints. There could be further roadblocks. You're not driving through. But you could be taking, fireworks, more modern. There could be lots of danger. And if you can't reverse, you have to try to make a little bit of space if you can and get around, because a person from here, you imagine your L again, your passengers are going to be vulnerable from here, and you, or your engine, is going to be vulnerable from here. So what are the different ways that this ambush could start? It could be a vehicle. It could start with someone literally blocking your vehicle and you just making the decision to not, engage. It could be scooters, e-bikes, bicycles, anything that can be wedged underneath your vehicle's front tire and axle is going to stop your vehicle. Or they could run by and puncture your tires, in which case you now can't move very fast, and they're going to be able to catch up to you in their own vehicles. Or you're just going to wreck out. So you have to have your occupants trained. Both your driver has to be trained in defensive driving, and the passenger has to be trained in their sectors. And obviously, if there's, kids back here, they're not going to be, they might still be able to say, hey, there's a problem on this side, depending on their age, watching their sectors. But the driver has a lot of responsibility, but this vehicle could be impairing their view. And the driver is not going to be returning returning contact. They're not going to be exiting the vehicle, so on and so forth. The driver has to be focused on driving. You're not going to be dismounting unless you've trained to do so. And if there could be upwards of hundreds or even thousands of people walking down the street, so breaking contact on foot is extremely dangerous, and a very, very narrow set of options for that turning out okay. That being said, people are going to know your front and back license plates. They're going to see all of your faces. They're going to have videos of all your faces. If you have kids in the vehicle, they're going to, by the time you get home, they're going to know where your kids went to school. So you have to be able to avoid this altogether. But if you can't, just realize that the situation you're in is very dire and you're running out of good options. So if at all, peacefully, what you're going to be doing is maybe waiting for a distraction, something to happen, and then just back up a tiny bit, get out. And then don't raise any awareness, don't stand out, and then with any luck, everybody else is going to do the same thing. And you just get out. There are ways to avoid this. Trip checking, binoculars, drones. If you were having dinner up on a building, looking all four directions before you go back down into the basement to grab your car and leave. Watching the news, watching the Twitters of your local area, watching. Sometimes protesters will have protest maps, so you can know to avoid them. And most importantly, understand that the ambush mechanics are the same, but the technology is constantly evolving. So one of the new common, with the smarter cars, is just putting a traffic cone out, and that'll stop most cars now. They will not pass it through a traffic cone. And the brake sensors, forward and back sensors, won't allow you to drive through anything, so someone simply standing there is enough to lock the car up. And they know this, and it becomes incredibly easy for them to do whatever they want to do to you, your cars, your vehicle, your passengers, drag everybody out, hold everybody at gunpoint for hours on end. And so if you drive a newer, smarter car, you're going to have to know how to disable those smart features. And every vehicle is different, and every area is different. And but the best thing to do is be, driving an elevated vehicle. You can see further ahead. You can see your surroundings better. I'm not going to tell you how or not to defend yourself, because this is for education only. There's different attorney programs that are reputable. There's different self-defense classes revolving around vehicles that are credible. The most important thing that the majority of you need to know is trip check first, and just plan on backing out a tiny bit and getting out. And then you can freak out later after you're safely away. But cool, calm, collected, doors locked, windows up. You don't want them to be able to pepper spray in. You don't want them to be able to put road flares in your car, shove a gun in your face. Don't ever get out of your vehicle, no matter what. Don't think that you giving them your vehicle is going to save you. They want you. They want to torch your vehicle, and they want you and your wife and your kids. So, most of the time, the protest element is very calm, usually, but the security elements are not that well trained in mitigating their adrenaline. And so the security elements can get really, really, really twitchy. That's usually when you start getting a gun shoved in your face. Or the security element has bad elements in it that are crazy. So there's plenty of videos on this online. They get lost sometimes. They get frustrated, they get upset. And you could end up with, a modern tools shoved in your face. And you have to understand that typically what they're trying to do is they're trying to set up for some sort of an L shape, which will be person here, so on. Because they're trying to be able to either disable the engine, disable the driver, disable the engine, disable the passenger, some form of being able to disable the vehicle as efficiently as possible. So if you tried, even if this vehicle wasn't here, trying to drive through, you might miss the first person. The second person's going to get you. I've seen people try to cut through this way. Say if these vehicles weren't here, this is really dangerous because of traffic and because the protesters could be going this way. There could be someone here waiting for you, and they might not get you. They might try to get you, but get your passengers instead. It's very risky. So, hope this makes sense.